Commissioners have any comments they'd like to make to close out?
Don't ask me to speak. I think, and I'm sorry I missed the first half of the program, I think it has been said this was a tremendous program, and we heard from people who had information that more than the 60 or so people here really needed to hear about. And I'm hoping this tape can be, all of you can spread the word that people need to watch the tape and maybe learn something about some of these issues. And I think that a lot of things are done with grassroots efforts, and obviously you all are doing some tremendous things, and we need to engage our communities across the state to listen to all these issues and to understand that these are things that affect all of us, and it's important for us to be aware of.
I'd like to echo that. This is my first hearing as commissioner, and it's been educational for me. And I've learned a lot of things that you're doing here in the Nashville area that I think ought to be done in every community. And certainly I want to go back to East Tennessee with some questions about what we're doing about some of these issues and who's involved. So thank you for the opportunity to hear your remarks.
I just want to thank everybody for coming and staying and listening to the fine presentations. And as I listened to what's being said and concerns that we have in Tennessee and Nashville, we could do better. We could just do better. And I think we have a mission, and we're going to do better. And so I look around there, and I see the hope, and I see the young people that are coming and talking about what's going on. That's good. And I think that Tennessee will be on the right track. We need to definitely talk to our legislators, because a lot of this stuff begins that. Finances and other things, we can actually talk to our legislators, elected officials, to make sure some of these things get put in place.
I found all the presentations thoughtful and enlightening, and I learned some things too today, which shows old dogs can learn new tricks and information. Director Watts, I want to thank you and the staff for putting together a very good program. Of course, I was in Memphis. I missed the other two across the state, but these hearings have been informative for the commission. We need this information. We need to act on various things that have been brought out from these hearings and these presentations. And I thank staff for a very good job. Thank you very much.
Well, let me thank those of you who made presentations. Let me thank the staff also for working on this, particularly Susanna Berry. She is like the best ever. Thank you, Susanna. And then she's good at recruiting, so all the rest of the people you see, she told them be here or else. But anyway, let me talk to you about next steps. We're going to take the information we've received in all four of these areas. Much of it will be, these were summaries today because we limited everyone to about 15 minutes. We will be either linking or having the actual full reports for the Economic Council for Women, the report that Dan Cornfield brought for us. Those are the kinds of things that will be linked to our report. We'll be looking at where there are areas that we should present to our commissioners for perhaps exploration for expansion of the Tennessee Human Rights Act. Where there is no jurisdiction, the question becomes, what do you do then? We're going to be looking for partners, many of whom are in this room, to talk with them. But we want to know, and one of the reasons this was an expansive conversation on human rights, was to know what are the issues? What are the issues in Memphis? What are the issues in rural Tennessee? And it was pure and simply access to services by many people in West Tennessee. Some as basic as health, some was transportation, other issues. It is a real big subject. Are we going to solve it all? No, but if we don't know what they are, we won't be able to move forward on particular issues that we might be able to make a difference on. Thank all of you all for coming. Thank all of you for sharing your information. And then thank you, too, for your support and for partnering with each other and with us on a variety of issues. Our history is great. I know many of you started with the history and talked about the Nashville Civil Rights Movement. If you have not gone up to the Civil Rights Room, you should do it. I tell everybody this is a room in which there is great history, and great lessons. But you also need to look at, and Paula Casey is here, and Paula edited a book called The Perfect 36, which talked about the notion of what happened when women's rights were happening and how Tennessee played a pivotal role, and how Harry Burns was told by his mom to vote this way, son, and he did. So as a result, the 19th Amendment came about. So there's a rich, rich history. There are recent histories, immigrant rights and gay rights issue. Nashville has a history, Tennessee has a history, and we found this out last year when we traveled the state, and we found 50 people and then an additional 5, which is just the tip of the iceberg of people working to make a difference, to make Tennessee the state that volunteer state it is. Many people went to war, but then they came home and their rights were not felt. So we need to work to look at where we can do things better, how we can make our cities, how we can make our communities, and how we can move our state toward universal human rights for all. Thank you for coming. Thank all of you. I think we have a few more minutes. They're not going to kick us out right away. I think we have to be out of here in about, 40 minutes? So we won't rush you out too much. So thank you so much for being here.